Okay, so far we have introduced the relationship between the entities. So the question we may wonder, between the same pair of the entities, how many relationships can we have? Can we have only one single relationship, or we can have multiple different relationships at the same time? To answer this question, in this page we show you with an example. Let's assume we have two entities. The first one is an employee. This employee has a bunch of attributes like SSN, name, and not. So you can see a slight difference among these attributes. For the SSN, we have 1 on the 9. We will cover this later. Generally, when we draw the diagram, if one attribute can serve as a key, I mean this attribute can differentiate different employees. If so, then we can use this 1 on the 9 denotes this one is a key for the entities. And we'll provide the definition for keys in the following lectures in the other sections instead. We have SSN, name, and not for the employees. Another entity we have is a department. So it also has three attributes. We have a department ID, department name, as well as budget information for department. We see this department ID is a key for the department. Therefore, we have 1 on 9 for the DID as shown here. So between the employees and the departments, we have a common. So between the employees and the departments, we have a regular relationship. It's called works in. It denotes this employee works in the department. If so, then we can draw a diamond works in as shown here, and we can connect this diamonds with entities as shown here, right, with some lines. So here I need to remind you, whenever you draw a relationship, you need to ask yourself, what is the constraint on the relationship? Should we add any arrows to the lines or not? So to answer this question, we need to think about these application settings as well as what we have covered before, right? Because for our problem, we assume an employee can work in many departments, and a department can have multiple employees. According to these settings, we can assume it is many-to-many, right? We don't need to add any arrows to these lines. And besides the works in, actually, we can also have someone manages this department, right? These managers, they are also the employees. In other words, between employees and the department, we have another second relationship. It is managers, right? It is very similar to the company and the CEO we showed before. So according to our problem setting, each department has one single manager. In other words, we can add one manager's relationship between them, and we can add the lines here. However, for the lines pointing to CEOs, we know that we need to add one arrow connecting to the line, right? Pointing to the CEOs, because we know that given one department, we can find one single CEO who manages this department. And we don't need to add the arrow to departments because we know that one manager can manage multiple departments simultaneously. Therefore, we have one arrow pointing to the employees as shown here. So in this example, we can show you that between the same pairs of entities, we can have multiple relationships connect them. And you can also think about some other cases which can connect the same pairs of entities with different relationships.